Alright, in Schoology, we're in auxiliary views and in the problems, and we're going to do this clamp right here. There's a few things to worry about. Notice that the dimensions come from the inside of this fold right here where this bend is. They don't come from the outside, which is going to be important later on. It is 1 inch from there to the center of that circle, 2.5 inches to the center of that one. The radius is 0.75, so to get out to the edge, we're going to do 2.75 plus that. Same here, 1.75 plus that to get to the outside there. 45-degree angle, 3/8 thick all the way around. Let's go ahead and get started. When you go into our Schoology class, you should be in whatever class you are. Click on assignments and scroll down until you find 245-7-4- clamp and click on it, and let's get started. As we get started, we're going to go here and make sure our units are right. We're going to have 2 decimal places here, and it's going to be inches, and the angle is going to be degrees with no decimal places, just straight up angle right there. We don't want to do anything finer than that. Right click on this view, click new sketch, view normal to that sketch, and we're going to get right in here and sketch right away from here down to about here, over to about here, up, over, up, and there. I overdid those a little bit because I want to make sure I use the constraints because I don't want to get tricked. And so I'll do a coincident constraint. Coincident constraint between the endpoint here and the origin. It puts that in the right spot. It's fine by me because what I want to do is I want to make sure that I'm using the parallel constraint and say that these two are parallel. I want to say that these two are parallel. Which you can see there, things get messed up, and that's okay. I want to say that these right here, this one is perpendicular from there to there. I also want to say that they're equal. This distance and this distance are equal to one another. Undo that one because I'll do it the other way. Let's see if I can do it the other way. Do this one to this one and say that they're equal. That seemed to make a little bit of a difference, and that's because that is on that corner right there, which is what I don't want to have happen. These things happen from time to time, so I'm going to vertically constrain. I'll take that off, delete that right there, so now I can move this one. And I'll say that those two were equal to one another. I think those were already. So then the next thing I'm going to do is start putting dimensions on, and it was important right here to know that this dimension was 1 plus 0.75. This dimension right here was 2.5 plus 0.75. This one right here was 0.38. That's okay. So mine messes up a little bit. That's alright. We'll go over here. We'll move this back out this way because I want to get the angle right. And I'm going to say I want from here to here is what my angle is. And we're going to make that 45. Alright. So now I'll finish that sketch. Extrude this both directions. Symmetric, both directions. We're going to go 0.75 times 2 and finish that sketch. Then we're going to go ahead and do a fillet. We're going to make sure that that's 0.75, a radius on there, and I'm going to click on these two edges right here, that one and that one. We'll go back over here and click on these two edges, this one and this one, and we're going to finish that sketch. Alright, and then to keep things simple for myself, I'm going to go ahead and turn those off. Right click on this one, view, or create a new sketch here, view normal to that one so I can see exactly what's going on, and I'm going to put a circle, or put a point right on that center point of that. Finish that sketch. Click on here, right click, add a new sketch there, and I can do this from here. I'm drawing on that plane. I'm just going to find that spot right there. If you have to view normal too, it's fine, but I'm just not going to. Alright, so now I can create a hole, and I'm going to create it's going to be inches, simple hole through there, and I'm going to click on this till I find something that's close to 0.68, and that's probably been rounded one way or another. 11/16 hole is a standard one. So we'll click here and here, put those standard holes in there, and check that. Alright, so that's what the part looks like. I'm going to right click on it, click create a new drawing. We're not going to use any standard views on this one because we're doing auxiliary views. You could start that way and just erase things. I'll show you why, because when you do this, if I click this right here, I'll put this right in the middle to get started. If I click this right here and move this one up to right here, you'll see this one looks fine, which I could probably use it, but I'm going to do something a little different. This one's not. This one's not a circle. It's kind of an egg shape there, right? That's called an ellipse. It's that, so I don't want that view at all because I can't do anything with it. Oops. So I'm going to click on it and delete it. All right. In this case right here, I'm going to go ahead and do my show and hide. So I'm going to show my hidden lines, and I'm going to hide my tangent lines. So it gets rid of those, and it makes it easy enough to then just go ahead and drop on those center points. Now, we're going to click on auxiliary. And the reason we're going to do that is we're going to click on auxiliary view to get an auxiliary on this view right here. And we're going to put that right there. Right, so this lines this up the way we want it to be lined up to make that, be able to dimension that drawing right there. And this one we can actually project down to the bottom, so we can just project this view straight down here like this, and that gets everything lined up just about the way we want it to be. Looks like I might want to move this one up a little bit like that, so I can get a little bit of space down here on this thing. We could, if you wanted to, you could do, project this view up here and do some kind of isometric on this thing. Oops, I just overrode it, but you see already that it's kind of becoming a pain in the neck. You don't have to do that view. You could put that in there if you wanted to. Now I've got that view in place, I can just kind of pop that in there. One of the things you can do is I'm going to change. We can change the scale of this, so we can double click on it, change it to about half scale there. That does that for us, and then move it up here a little bit more, get it out of the way. Oops, double click, change that to half scale. There. Oh, we can also change like our tangent edges are hidden. Isometric, best quality, or render mode. That's great. View orientations, isometric, that's fine. Yeah, I think that's what we want to do for that. If you're going to go that far, you could potentially, I think, right click on it, change the, maybe not, align the view properties. Yeah, we'll let that go there, like that. I was just looking to see if there's a way. There is a way to change the way it looks, but view orientation, that's fine. Oh, tangent edges, nah, we'll just leave it. So I just wasted enough of your time on that one. Okay, so since we're gonna do this, we can do this straight like this right here. We can do some dimensions and put a dimension on that goes from here to there, and make sure that that's 1. Right, that's important to do that that way. So I want to make sure that in this case I only have 2 decimal places normally. So I'm going to do 1 there. I'll do the same. Actually, want to do the same on the other one. I wonder if this is the right way to do it. It might not be. So let me move this down here a little bit out of the way, and then I'm actually going to move this one down here because. What if I projected those views up out of here? I might want to project this view up like this, and there's very much a reason to do that. The reason would be move this here, move this here. We don't want to interfere too much. But what I want to be able to do is, I'm going to move this over here. What I want to be able to do is, like I dimensioned that there, I want to be able to put a dimension on from here to here to tell us how far that is, because that's important. Because going from that point was important. Put a dimension on that tells us how thick this is here. And we can do something like put the through hole. You can dimension this right here, this through hole right there. And oops, that's not even right. I don't want to do that. I want to use the hole command to do it because it'll fill the thing in the way we want it to. Through is right. And put a dimension on there like this one. Now that I've got those 2 in there, I'm going to go in here, space, put TYP period. And that gets that part on there. I'll do this one. I'm going to double click on this one. Oops, boy, I'm getting ahead of myself. And then put 2 places here. So a bit of space in there. All right, so that's it. That's actually what I would do to get your dimensions right on that. Now, it actually would not be the worst thing if you brought this thing over here like this and kind of finesse that a little bit. Just a little bit. It does get a little awkward when you start doing some things there, but it's okay because you needed the space there a little bit. Most of the time you want them centered, but the size of the title block and all this makes this look right when you do it. So that's how that would go, and I would do it this way. So we should have all the dimensions on there that we need to be able to make that part at this point. Um, so back up here, we're going to call this a clamp, and we're going to click on this one, back this one up, and call this 245-7-4. That's our part number, and go ahead and click submit, and we're going to move on to the next one.